Welcome to Hilltop Faith Business Conference, and it is an honor for me to lead this session with you all. And I have been asked to lead a session on how to scale a business in Cameroon or how to grow a business. Let me add the word exponentially. And I strongly believe that if you understand and begin to apply the principles that I am going to share in this particular session, there is no way you will not be able to scale your business and make so much money. Let me start by sharing a story. I think this was 2022, where I just casually asked in my mentorship community. I have a mentorship community of people from across different countries where I mentor them on how to start and grow businesses at a very fast rate. And I just casually asked them, who is here that is running a business and you have never made your first 1 million francs in less than 3 months or so? And many people indicated that they have never made their first 1 million profit. That was in a year. And that was even 1 year is too much to make 1 million francs, right? But many people indicated, and I said, you know what? I'm going to pick 10 people and I'm going to mentor you. And the goal is that you make your first 1 million before December 31st. And guess what? Out of the 10, 8 people made their first ever 1 million profit before August. And before October, everybody made their first 1 million francs. You see, the most easiest thing to make in this world is money. Do you know that it's more difficult to find and make trusted friends, and it is more easy to make money? That is the truth, right? And I'm talking to Christians. I always fondly say that it is more easy to make money and more difficult to have a consistent prayer life, right? Because the enemy is going to fight you from praying. But what am I trying to say? There are principles in business. I always say that business is a mind game. It's a game of minds, ideas, and strategy, and principles and laws. And there are things that when you get revelation about, when you get understanding about, you will begin to be able to build a sustainable business, right? And you see, for people that know me, all of my business strategies that I've been able to design and to create and to share with people in more than 22 countries around the world, they have come from the Bible. And this is a church conference. So I'm going to share two main scriptures as my foundation for what I'm going to share today. The Bible says in First Kings chapter 3, verse 28, the Bible says that, and all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had rendered, and they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him to administer justice. That means King Solomon operated in wisdom, that wisdom produced fear or reverence or honor. There is a dimension of understanding and wisdom that when you begin to operate in, when you begin to execute, you can produce a lot of results that even people are going to fear you or reverence you. Right? And the same First Kings chapter 10, verse 24, just few chapters after, the Bible now says that all the earth sought the presence of Solomon to hear his wisdom, which God had put in his heart. The whole earth began to seek a man because of the wisdom that God gave him. Guess what? You and I are in Christ Jesus if you're a believer, right? And you have the Holy Spirit in you. There is a spirit in man, the book of Job says so. And one of the ministry of the Holy Spirit is to begin to enable you to tap into that divine intelligence and divine wisdom to begin to build and to achieve things that can enable you to produce tangible success. like King Solomon. The Bible clearly says that, I mean, this guy was highly sought after globally at the time, right? I always say that he was one of the first highly sought after human beings in the world, right? Because when you are in the business world or you are in the speaking industry like me, there are words they use like, highly sought speaker, highly sought consultant, highly sought, coach, and all of that. The Bible says that in that First Kings chapter 10, verse 24, all the earth sought the presence of Solomon. He was one of the first highly sought after expert or people of wisdom in the world. So, and I believe that I want to challenge you because what I'm going to share with you is not just from the place of theory. No, right? I have started, more than 10 businesses in my life. I have failed in many businesses. So I know what works and I know what doesn't work. Right. And having a doctorate degree in business and an MBA in business, I just love to research and to study what works and what fails in business, right? And helping many people make millions and millions in different currencies in the business world. I am not sharing theory with you. I am sharing what over the years I have refined, I have perfected, and it keeps producing results till today that I'm talking to you. So I want to challenge you, whether you're thinking of starting a business or you are about to start a business or you have started a business and you have the mindset to grow, you have the desire to grow, then I guarantee you, if you sit with these principles, with the objective of listening to understand and to execute on a consistent basis, you will change the face of your business. All right. So we are going to look at a couple of exciting things that I believe will mark the beginning of your business to a whole new level. So again, like I said in my introduction, I will be looking at sustaining small and medium scale business. And we're looking at drivers. What are those things that when you have in your business, they begin to drive that business, growth and business scale as far as we know it. Praise God. All right, let's go into this right now, and it will be a blessing to you in Jesus' name. All right, let's start by describing what is business growth, right? Or business scaling. Now, there is a season where you are in the idea stage. There is a season where you are still trying to conceptualize your business idea. There is a season where you start. There's a season where you begin to experience some break even, point. And business growth or business scaling, this is where your business literally reaches the point of expansion. And you know that this is the time for this business to begin to expand. And your desire is you begin to seek more ways to expand this business, to get more customers, to make more sales, to have more profit, and much more. That is business growth, right? And this, you don't begin to think about business growth when because you desire to grow. No, there are some conditions. For example, there are many times I have clients and mentees that come to me they want to expand their businesses. And many a times I always set a basic record, a basic standard. I'll say, you know what? Until your business start making, let's say, 1 million francs every month, and until you can leave your business for 2, 3, 4 days or 5 days, and that business does not close down because you are absent, you can start thinking of expanding or scaling the business, right? Those are some basic conditions that sometimes are important to consider before you start thinking of business growth. You don't start thinking about business scaling from the place of excitement or because you saw your neighbor or your friend expanding and you desire to expand. You are going to crash because business scaling or business growth must happen on the right foundation, on the right systems, on the right, intelligence, if you may, at that particular point. So And one thing is that if you're going to go far in business, you must be thinking about business growth. If you are not thinking about business growth, something is wrong with your mindset as an entrepreneur. Okay. So let's look at these drivers, and they're going to challenge you. And if you run a business, begin to build a checklist based on the drivers that you are learning today. Which ones are missing in your business? Which ones do you need to amplify? And maybe what do you need to stop doing so your business can begin to grow? Because for many people, I have consulted for many businesses, and they'll bring me in to consult. And sometimes they think that I'm going to add something. Instead, I subtract something, I stop them from doing some things, and then the business begins to grow. Right. So when you're listening, begin to think, what can I add? What can I refine? What can I improve? What can I even stop doing based on what you are learning? Number one is upskilling and reskilling. You see, this is very, very important. You see, the heartbeat of business is the right skills. The heartbeat of business is the right skills. Many a time, the skills that you use to start a business, those same skills cannot help you to make more money from that business. For example, many a times when you're starting a business, you don't need corporate negotiation skills or B2B selling skills because you are just starting. But sometimes to scale a business, to begin to make more money, you need to start selling with institutions or to institutions. You need to learn how to drive conversation with business owners to buy from you as a supplier, right? So if you're going to scale your business, you need to scale your skill set. Yes. Many people don't think about it. The kind of marketing that you need at the startup stage is a different kind of marketing you need at the growth stage. So you need to learn how to upskill and reskill yourself because your skills as a business owner, they directly impact your business. That is why look at business people making it big. Either they pay a lot of money to take more lessons or they read a lot. Or number two, they hire a lot of consultants around them. Like I saw a funny argument on Facebook that Dangote does not attend master classes. How is he building his business? Dangote has not less than 30 consultants that work with him. I know some consultants that are on his direct payroll. Their job is to educate him, right? He has so much money. He doesn't need to come and pay for master classes at a few, for a few dollars to attend. No, he has the money to hire a consultant on a full-time payroll. He's always upskilling and reskilling himself. So you need to begin, listen to me. The day you decide to be a business owner, that is the day you are married to learning every day. You need to constantly upskill and reskill, right? Because the right skills will help you to adapt to the changing market. The right skills will help you to begin to optimize your business operations for efficiency. You're going to make better, faster decisions with the right skills. I have met many business owners that the main thing that is stopping them from growing is the right skills. I run a program known as, Mini MBA Business Academy. And I can give you many testimonies of people that when they took that program, they doubled the sales of their business in less than 3 months. There was a guy in Boya who took that program, and in less than 3 months, he made 11 million francs in profit. Why? Because the knowledge changed. You see that? You need to begin to look at, based on where I want to go, which skills do I need to develop in order to get there? All right. So one thing about skills is that they're going to help you, to solve problems, produce results, and handle tasks quickly and effectively, right? That's why I always say that skills applied to tasks, to solve problems will always generate results for any business owner. So, what are your skill sets? What are the skills that are missing in your business right now? There are some people hearing right now, if you just master marketing skills well, you can change the face of your business. For some people, if you master customer acquisition, you can change your business. If you master budgeting and resource allocation, you're going to change the face of your business. If you master social media, you're going to change the face of your business. If you master branding, there are several skills. You're going to change the face of your business. All right. Number two, the second thing that drives, consistent business scaling and growth is what I call consistent value identification and packaging. And before I continue, you see, on a normal day, for me to teach what I'm going to share with you, is like a 6 hours masterclass. I take time on each driver to share some practical things. But I want to give you all these drivers. And again, as I said, a good business person is a researcher. Pick some of these key points, take them for further studies and further research. They are guiding points for you to use them in your business. Okay. And I do have a YouTube channel, and right now I have close to 600 YouTube videos on business skills and things like that. And I've taught many of these things on those videos for free and in detail in those teachings. You can find them. All right. But the second driver today, and we're going to talk about, is consistent value identification and packaging. You see, one of the major reasons why many people don't scale their business is because they don't know how to add value to their business and to package that value. One of the major things that scales a business is, what is the value you're selling? The more you have bigger value, quality value, the more you have to sell. And the more you have to sell, the more you can be able, you see, to make more money, right? And value identification basically means that you know how to figure out the valuable problem you can solve repeatedly for other people. What is that valuable problem that you can solve for more people? And you can convert that problem into a product that people can understand and happily buy. And value packaging is how you present that particular value so that people can understand it, they can desire it, and they can pay for it. Let me tell you something. If you're going to keep making money and increasing how much money you make, you need to keep on identifying value within the business or adding more value into the business so you have more value to sell to current customers and even existing customers. And this point is very, very important. If you get it right, it will literally change how you make a lot of money, right? So you need to learn how to sit and find what are more ways I can make money in this business. That is why look at top companies globally. They make money in diverse ways, different many ways, right? And that is one of the best ways to run a business that can be very profitable. The next thing I want to talk about is value monetization with different pricing models. So when you identify the value and you package the value, one of the most important things to know how to do is what I call value monetization with different models. I'm going to spend some time here because this is one of the biggest secrets in making more money and scaling your business. You see, one thing about business is that different people can pay for the same value in different ways. That's one thing about business. If you have only one way that everybody pay for the same value, you're going to find it difficult scaling that business. One important lesson in business that you must understand is, how can I find more ways for different set of people to pay for this same value? That's why I keep saying that poor businesses have one way of making money. If you have only one way of making money in your business, you are running a poor business and you cannot scale that business. A wealthy business or a rich business have many ways of making money. And this is a reality that it is important to understand. You see that? For example, I am a lot into coaching and consulting and speaking, right? I don't make money just from speaking in conferences. That is the least way that I make money, right? Now, let's say I provide a service on how to grow a business. It's a whole service, right? Business growth strategy service. Now, that is one service, and I can sell that one service in four different ways. Number one-on-one coaching. That's one way I sell that particular service, where people pay me to sit one-on-one on Zoom or in a physical office like this, and I provide consulting strategy with them, and they pay me for how to grow their business. I provide group training on how to grow your business. You see, one product, but I have more ways to sell that product. I have an online course on business growth strategies. People pay and take it around the world, and I'm not there at all. I create a membership program, a 3 months membership program, a 6 months membership program on how to grow your business in 6 months. And people pay every month for 6 months to be part of that program. You get the perspective. Remember, a poor business has one way of making money. A rich business has multiple ways of making money for the same value or the same product. Let's forget about what I do. Let's take an example. Let's say one mama in Carrefour, Billy, right, who makes, let's say, chin chin, for example. Now, a poor model is you are producing chin chin and you sell one bag for 50 francs or 100 francs. That is the only way that you make money from producing or frying chin chin. That's a poor business model. But a rich business model can include, number one, she produces and she sells in little parts for 100 francs. That's one way of selling that chin chin. She can decide and begin to produce wholesale parts so that people can buy for their families or buy for their business premises, and she can produce in bigger parts that people can buy. She can decide and start packaging corporate gift cards for corporate businesses. She can start organizing training classes to train other women on how to make chin chin and package chin chin, and they pay her. You see that? She can produce, let's say, a special recipe book on how to produce her kind of chin chin. You see that? Many ways. She's creating different models of selling the same value to different people. So look at what you have as value. You see, one person I learned this from the Bible is King Solomon, right? I said earlier on that some of my biggest business strategies are from the Bible, right? King Solomon had multiple streams of income. Study his life, you're going to see. When you begin to study the scriptures, especially the book of Kings, First Kings, you're going to see that King Solomon had several channels through which his wealth was increasing, right? Number one, he was in international trade. You can find that in 1 Kings chapter 10. Number two, he was into merchant commerce. Number three, this guy was collecting taxes and tributes from nations. That's it. Number four, he was importing gold and silver and ivory and peacocks and things like that. Number five, this guy was into strategic partnerships. There was a guy he partnered with, I think his name is Hiram or something like that. Number six, this guy was receiving gifts from other kings and queens, right? He had multiple ways, multiple channels that money was coming into his life. You get the perspective. That's why he was a very, very rich king. If you're going to make money from your business, if you're going to scale your business, if you have only one way of making money, you are going to struggle. Begin to think creatively. And there is no business that has one way of making money. I always say that, look, if you're selling anything to any human being, to one human being, if I sit with you, I'll find at least 5 ways you can sell the same thing to different people. And that's how to scale a business. So begin to think about that. It will help you. All right. So the next thing we're going to look at is scale the team. You see, one of the mistakes that people make is that when they start making money in business, one of the things that they do is that they begin to improve their lifestyle. A wise business person, if you want to scale your business, one of the first things to start doing when you start making money is hire more people. And make sure you hire people who are better than you in areas where you're weak. If you are bad in marketing, hire a good marketer. If you're bad in sales, hire a good salesperson. If you're bad in accounting, hire somebody who is good with numbers. You cannot scale a business running a one-man business or running the business with your family members who are not serious in the business. Scale your team. All right. So we're going to look at number 5, which is scale your equipment. Many people don't think about this. You see, your equipment is very important in scaling your business. Very, very important. Every business has important equipment that you need in order to begin to run that business efficiently. For example, for me, you see, having, let's say, a good mobile phone and having a high performing laptop and having the right softwares are very important for my business, right? I like to replace my laptop almost every year because it's very important in my business. You see that? So, like the picture you may be seeing on your screen, that is my first ever office in Kobe in 2015, and then my other office in Douala at the time, right? But what am I saying? You cannot scale the business with old equipments. There are some businesses that the core activities depend on certain equipment, important equipment. And when you start making money, one of the most important things that you're going to do to scale that business is invest money and buy the right equipment for the growth of that business. So based on what you do, what are the top important equipments that if you buy or if you have, you can scale your value creation and value production and be able to serve more customers and make more money. Invest in the equipments that are critical for your core activities. Number 6 is reduce what you can call customer churn and increase customer onboarding. In other words, customer churn refers to the rate at which existing customers stop doing business with you. There are many people that your bad customer service is going to kill the growth of your business. If you keep having high rate of customers who stop doing business with you, for one reason or another, you will never scale that business. Why? You are going to invest money in marketing and advertisement and customer acquisition, but your bad internal sales system is going to keep sending those customers away, and you're going to wonder, why am I investing in marketing and advertisement, but I cannot grow this business? One of the big problems is that your high rate of customer churn or customers leaving your business or customers who stop doing business with you is so high. And many a times, it is either bad customer service, poor products, poor customer service, customer follow-up or after-sales service and whatever. Check. If you run a business and the rate of people that stop doing business with you is growing and is increasing, there is nothing you can do to scale that business. Because as they're coming, they're leaving. What is the strength of some great companies around the world? For example, when you see Samsung users and Apple users, they keep buying the same product every year, basically. That's what makes them valuable companies because they do their best to onboard customers and keep the customers. Go and do a check in the last 6 months, in the last 1 year. That's why you need to learn how to do customer follow-up calls. No customers that pay well and check on them. The goal is to make sure that they keep on coming back to you. All right. So reduce the rate at which customers leave your business or stop doing business with you and increase customer onboarding and customer retention. Learn to retain your customers. Learn to keep them. Do the best you can do to keep them to be regular, repeat buying customers. It will scale your business at a very high rate. Number 7 is increased traffic and marketing. You see, you cannot scale your business at a high rate if the rate of new people who know that your business exists is not increasing. What is marketing? Marketing basically is how people know that you exist. And guess what? If people don't know that you exist on a constant, and I'm talking about total strangers, the more strangers know that your business exists, there is a high chance you can scale that business. Because marketing is how you get known by your target market. Marketing answers the questions. Marketing answers the question, how do people know that my business exists? So you begin to create awareness, high interest, you generate visibility, you attract prospects. You begin to invest a lot of money to generate traffic towards your business. Show me a business generating the right amount of traffic into that business. I will show you a business that will be able to scale if you are generating that traffic and you are practicing good customer onboarding and customer retention into your business. So check your marketing. Sometimes I'll challenge people, what is the rate of people who are total strangers that know about your business for the first time every day or in a week or in a year? What is the rate of traffic coming into your business online and even physically? You need to invest money in that. If you don't have the money, use your brain. There are many ways to market your business without spending money. Just use your head and you're going to do that. All right. Number 8 is get your lead generation right. Now, what is lead generation? It's a bit related to marketing, but lead generation basically means that it's about attracting individuals, and in the business world, we call these individuals leads who have shown some level of interest in what you're selling. So when you're doing marketing, one of the goals of marketing is to get interested people that will reach out and ask how much. Those are leads. Tell me more about this product. Those are leads. You need to learn how to create marketing content in a way that can push people to take an additional step to ask further questions. Those are leads, to find out more about their business. Right? I have a teaching on I taught a few days ago to some business leaders on how to post on social media in a way that leads to sales and business growth. You see, there is a way to share content on social media that's going to push people to seek to know more about your business. And the way you're doing that is you don't just share content, but the purpose of that content is to convert people from reading the content or watching the video to indicating interest, asking questions like, how can I get this? How much do you sell this? Where can I find this? Those are leads. And the more lead generation you get, there's a high chance you're going to get buying customers. There's a difference between interested customers and buying customers. And you convert interested customers to become buying customers through what you can call customer acquisition. What are those actions that you take to make sure that the moment somebody says, I am interested, there is a step-by-step action that you take to convert them from interested customers to paying customers. That is very important in your business. And that's why I'm going to talk about sales actions. That is the driver number 9. You cannot scale your business if you don't have the right sales actions in place, right? So sales actions basically refer to specific tasks or activities or steps that can move an interested person or a prospect through a sales process to the point that they can eventually say, I want to pay for this product. For example, you see, we do promote a lot of consulting services and training programs, right? And anytime before we launch a product in public, I always create maybe like 5 WhatsApp messages or messages that we can share to interested people through Messenger, through WhatsApp, through Instagram inbox or LinkedIn a message, right? But before a product goes in public, I have about 5 messages. The moment you say hi, somebody in my team knows exactly the first message to send to you. They will edit a bit to fit you. The second message, the third message, the fourth message, the fifth message until you buy. Those are sales actions. Let's say you go to a restaurant, right? There are some restaurants that they have a door opener. That person's job is to open the door for you and smile for you. So as you're entering that restaurant, the moment that person opens the door for you, that is the beginning of sales. Marketing or advertisement or referral brought you into that door. But the actions that they begin to take, the moment you step into that door is sales. And the goal of whatever they're doing from that door till you pay is sales actions. You cannot scale your business with terrible sales action. I want to ask you a question if you run a business. The moment an interested customer enters your doorstep, what is the step-by-step process that they go through to eventually buy from you? When somebody texts, I am interested on WhatsApp, on Facebook, what is the step-by-step process that you have documented that you begin to take them through until they buy your service? This is wisdom, and you're supposed to operate in it as a Christian business owner. So get your sales actions the right way is going to help you. Number 10, the money. I've spoken about this briefly, but you see, if you're going to scale your business, one thing that you must be good at is money allocation. Knowing where to keep, allocating the money that you have as a business owner. Are you going to put that money in getting more team members, talent acquisition? Are you going to put that money in marketing and customer acquisition? Are you going to put that money in investing in technology? Are you going to put that money in designing better products? Are you going to put that money in opening a new branch in another town? Whatever, you need to know how to allocate money if you're going to scale a business. This looks simple, but in my experience, this is one of the biggest problems many people face. Many people get loans from the bank, right? Many people get investments from investors. Many people borrow money from friends and family members, but because of bad money allocation wisdom, that business never go far. One of the things that you must know how to do is where to allocate money at the stage of scaling or growing your business. And many times you will need to talk to somebody who has more experience than you to help you allocate the money into the right place. So think about that. It will help you. The next thing I'm going to talk about is, I said earlier on that you cannot scale a business on the wrong system. You cannot scale a business on excitement. It requires the right system and the right standard operating procedures to scale a business, right? Many businesses that I've come across, they do not fail because of lack of customers. Many companies or many businesses that have failed, they failed because the owner was the system. Without you, the business dies. But if you're going to scale a business or grow a business, you need to learn how to balance people plus processes plus technology to scale a business. It's very important. You cannot be joking with systems. You cannot be playing with standard operating procedures and expect to see a successful business. It's very important to get this right. You see that? Very, very important. Because a business can never scale on one man running the business. You see that? So if you're going to run a business, you need to begin to start establishing a system. If everything is in your head, you're going to struggle to scale that business. You cannot scale a business when everything depends on you, the founder. You cannot scale a business when there are not documented processes. You cannot scale a business when every decision exists only in your head. You see that? Let me give you a basic example. As simple as, let's say you're into buying and selling. Why not have a document where you document the names and the contacts of all your suppliers and even the percentages that they give you when you buy? That's a system. Just begin to, especially when you, like I said, you cannot scale a business when you don't have a good team or you're not adding people to what you're building. And if you add people without documented systems on how you do things in a way that they can read that system and do it in your absence, that business cannot go far. It will end up just as a small business, as a hand-to-mouth business, and eventually die out. You see that? So avoid having everything in your head if you want that particular business to go far. And the secret of scaling a business in terms of systems is begin to learn how can you marry people, processes, and technology. If these three components can work together, you can scale that business. All right. So begin to think about that. What are those basic systems that you can begin to document for people to work with? Number 12 is digital transformation and technology adoption. In basic terms, for those who may wonder that this is big grammar, in basic terms, if you put your business on one site and put social media, put Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, how are you balancing your business? How are you transforming how you get customers, how you sell with these platforms? As simple as that. Social media, internet is going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger till Jesus comes, right? And if your business is not heavily adopting technology at a high scale faster, something is wrong. That business likely has no future. And start with the basics. There is so much you can do with just Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So much you can do. So much you can do. Begin to study. How can I integrate my business with these available platforms? It is going to change your life. Start thinking about different moving parts as far as your business is concerned. Start thinking about digital marketing at a higher level. Start thinking about how to integrate e-commerce into your business. Start thinking about online payment systems. Start thinking about AI tools that are different. Begin to research. Sometimes just read about them. Just watch videos about these things. The more knowledge you get, the more aware you become. You begin to see loopholes in your business and where to add these things. You see that it's going to be a blessing to you. So begin to think about that. In this generation, except you want to remain small, you will not be able to scale your business without integrating the right technology into your business. The next thing I want to talk about is build strategic relationships and ecosystem. You cannot scale a business alone. If you don't know how to position yourself and be with the right people, you're going to struggle to grow a business. Business is heavily relationship driven. If you're trying to grow alone, you're in trouble. I have come to learn, see, some of the biggest life-changing opportunities will come through partnerships, alliances, referrals, associations. If you are that kind of person that you are timid, you are shy, you have low self-esteem, you believe in that thing that you are an introvert, you're going to find it difficult to break through in business. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. If you're going to grow in business, you have to pay the price and you must learn to build strategic relationships. You must learn to do that. Intentionally apply to join certain associations. Intentionally identify conferences, summits, events to attend as a business owner. Intentionally identify, if this company can buy from my business, my life will change, and begin to establish a relationship with the founder or with the CEO. If you are just sitting and hoping that they're going to find you, you would never break through in business. You have to learn how to go knock certain doors until they reject you. You are the one to take a step and begin to build. You see, this is I'm talking to my family church basically, right? So let me say it this way. It is possible to pray for grace, pray for favor, pray for open doors. And those spiritual realities remain in the realms of the spirit. You see, one of the ways that you download a spiritual reality from the realms of the spirit into your physical life is for you to step out in faith action. When you take a faith action, it becomes a bridge that transfer what you have prayed for in the realms of the spirit into the physical. So when you pray for favor, step out. Be like Esther. Esther fasted and prayed, and she stepped out to approach the king. When you pray for favor, leave your house, leave your business, go knock some doors, send some emails, make some calls, go to conferences, and you're going to see the favor at work. One of my laws is when I pray, I move. When I pray, I move. And let me tell you, in business, if you don't know how to move, when you don't know all the answers, you will never make it. There are many people that they have never seen what is called favor because they are afraid. I have seen this thing called favor. You know why? There is no door I cannot knock. There is no office in this world I cannot send an email to. None. I don't care the office. If I feel led or if I want something from that office, I am reaching out and I don't care if they say no. And I understand that the more relationships I build, the more doors open to me. See, let me tell you something. If you want to see that favor works, begin to step out in faith and build relationships for your business. And you will be amazed at what God can do. All right. So the last point I'm going to talk about for today is build capital access capability. You see, many people are struggling to scale their business because of lack of funds, and that is understandable. right? But you need to begin to learn more ways that you can access capital. Go beyond bank loans. Begin to think of what we call alternative financing. Many a times when we talk about getting business capital, people only think about, banking, bank loans or credit union loans. And they're like, I don't have land, I don't have this to get the bank loan. That's all right. But there are many other ways that you can get funding for your business. Many other ways, right? There are many other ways through angel investors. These are wealthy individuals who are willing to fund your business to get a percentage from that business. Or venture capital. These are firms that they invest in different businesses. Or revenue-based financing, right? Where this is funding that is repaid through business revenues, right? Or supplier financing, depending on the kind of business. Well, this is where suppliers can give you goods and services before you sell and then you pay. You can negotiate for that. Strategic investors. These are people that they can come into your business and they can offer either capital or recommendation. They can open certain doors for you and your business just blossoms. Or bootstrapping. You can decide, you know what, for me to grow or scale this business, I'm going to use personal funds or business profit. I will put the money back into the business. Any sales I make, any profit I make, I'm going to reinvest it back into the business. Because you cannot scale a business with just prayer, right? Prayers can give you wisdom. Prayers can help you get access. But you need to know how to find more capital for your business. And when it comes to capital access, I guarantee you, you need a lot of knowledge and wisdom. You need to understand how to write grants, write fundable business plans. And let me shock you. There is more money outside to fund businesses than there are businesses. I'm telling you. There is a lot of money outside there. There are billionaires and millionaires looking for companies to invest in. Many times they are not seeing the right businesses or the right people to work with. All right. So begin to think. Many of you, this is where you are. You don't have the right capital. You have a good business. You have good systems. You have good foundations. The thing missing to scale this business is the right capital for your business. So you need to begin to learn the alternative financing to get this particular capital. All right. That is it for today. I was in a rush because I didn't want this to be more than 1 hour of teaching, but I have given you key, points that, and like I said, you need to pick these points. You can go, on the internet, you can buy certain books, and the purpose is, what, this particular point, this is where I am lacking, and I want to gain more knowledge. Let me tell you again, business growth is a mind game. It's a game of ideas, strategy, principles, and laws. And when you begin to find the right principles and execute it at the highest level, you will see results in whatever that you are building. I hope that this is a blessing to you. And I hope that you found this very helpful. And like I always say, hope is hopeless without actions. If you hear all of these things and you don't begin to contextualize in what you're building as a business and begin to improve on what you're building, nothing is going to happen. Results and breakthroughs only come to builders who are willing to make mistakes and they keep on going in whatever they are building. God bless you. And thank you again, Papa, for inviting me to share these points. And I hope that they will change somebody's business. God bless you. Bye bye.